Almost 46 million passengers made their way through Miami International Airport in 2019, and that doesn't include family and friends who sent them on their way or awaited their arrival. That record total, about 1 million more than the previous year, doesn't include the thousands of employees who were minding the stores and restaurants, manning the security checkpoints, making sure your luggage went to the same destination you did. More than 100 airlines served MIA, more than any other U.S. airport, and about half of those passengers were international, a higher percentage than all major airports other than New York's JFK. So you are forgiven if you were unaware that on some of those jets, underneath you and the other passengers, in the belly of the aircraft, as well as on all cargo jets, or freighters as they are known in the industry, almost 59 billion in cargo was exported from or imported into the United States. Even though you probably never knew all those cell phones, flowers, all that asparagus, the peppers, the plasma paintings, laptops, the perfumes, the gold, salmon fillets, and more, moving through MIA, an army of people did. In fact, out of public view, they made it happen on a scale that's hard to imagine. Before I tell you how you get 59 billion in exports and imports through an airport, let me tell you this. Among more than 475 U.S. airports, seaports, and border crossings, MIA finished 2019 as the nation's 21st busiest, in the top 5%. Only 3 U.S. airports handled significantly more cargo: Chicago's O'Hare, New York's JFK, and LAX. Another 3, San Francisco, Atlanta, and Dallas-Fort Worth, handled a smidgen more. Among those 6 airports, however, MIA stands as the only one with a trade surplus, meaning its exports were of a greater value than its imports. That is due to its particular role as a hub or shopping cart for Latin America and Caribbean people and businesses. While Brazil alone accounted for more than 20% of the $58.8 billion total, MIA conducted more than $1 billion in two-way trade with 16 countries in 2019. And while 10 of those nations were so-called Latin American or Caribbean nations, 7 in South America, 1 in Central America, 1 in the Caribbean, and 1, Mexico, in North America, 5 were in Europe, and 2 in Asia. Colombia and Chile ranked 2nd and 3rd as they had the previous year, while China ranked 4th and Italy 5th. Rounding out the top 10 were Argentina, Germany, Costa Rica, France, and the United Kingdom. Fastest growing among the top 20? That title belongs to Vietnam, which moved up 12 spots to rank number 18. You can find a list of the top 100 MIA trade partners in our annual MIA Trade Numbers publication, available for download in the resources section at ustradenumbers.com. It includes information about leading exports and imports as well. Of that 58.8 billion in trade, in fact, just under 40 billion was an export, or about 61%. That's more than 50% higher than the US average. Of those 6 airports mentioned earlier, only O'Hare, JFK, and LAX had a greater value of exports. At MIA, by far the leading export category is the one that encompasses jets and certain non-jet engine parts, accounting for slightly better than 20% of the total. MIA, you see, is one of the world's leading hubs for aircraft maintenance, repair, and overhaul work, what the industry likes to call MRO. Rounding out the top 5, and all valued above 1 billion in value, were cell phones and equipment, computers, the category of vaccines, plasma, and other blood fractions, and computer chips. 2 other exports also topped 1 billion in value. Medical instruments, a category that can run from expensive and large imaging equipment to needles and syringes, and gold. While imports accounted for only 39% of the total, 6 categories topped 1 billion in value in 2019. The top category, returned exports without change. That can include a wide variety of products, including aircraft parts, electronics, motor vehicle parts, e-commerce, and more. Here, the top 5 is rounded out by cell phones and equipment, aircraft engines and parts, gold, and a category dominated by salmon fillets, largely from Chile. The last import with a value above 1 billion in 2019 was fresh cut flowers, more specifically roses, and largely from Colombia. But it's not just those members of the $1 billion club that matter. There were 30 imports with a value in excess of 100 million. There were 53 exports with a value in excess of 100 million. 48 countries conducted at least 100 million in trade through MIA in 2019. So while you and those nearly 46 million passengers, family and friends, workers in the stores and restaurants, TSA agents at the security checkpoints, and baggage handlers outside are the ones we tend to see, they are far from alone. Working feverishly both at the airport, where they are largely unseen, and in the areas west and north of MIA are an army of people representing both the private and public sectors. They are freight forwarders and customs brokers, truckers and warehouse operators, customs and border protection agencies, Food and Drug Administration agents, and more. Getting back to 2019 will take some time as we wrestle with the pandemic and economic fallout, not only for MIA, but for airports, seaports, and border crossings all over the United States and around the world, for businesses all across South Florida, the nation, and the world. But we are wise to remember where we were in 2019 and set our sights on getting back there. We're wise to focus on 46 million passengers and 59 billion in two-way trade. Soon enough, we will be there again.